If you're gonna do it, do it. You can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over leverage yourself. Don't over leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe. I think I'll try it out. No, think if you're gonna try it out beforehand, but when it's time to go, dive. Finish it, find out. Come out the other side. Don't leave it and go, ooh, if I just would, That keeps me up at night. I think it keeps a lot of us up at night. When you half-ass something and you just don't know whether you failed or succeeded, got what you want or didn't get what you want. Finding out and looking in the mirror and going, I didn't half-ass it. I went all the way. I found out, and that ain't for me. Or I found out, and you damn right that is for me. That's a great place to get to.
If you're watching this video, then you had the same problem that I had. When I first started this channel, I knew that I wanted to do it. I just didn't know how, and I was kind of afraid of what people would think because I had already tried to do things before, and that's kind of like something that I'm known for, is that, you know, I start a lot of new things and it kind of seems random to people on the outside. Really, I've been thinking about those things for a while, but my mistake is telling people. So when I started this channel, and it actually started as just an Instagram page, I didn't actually start a YouTube channel right away. I was posting to nobody. I had no followers because I didn't tell anybody about it. I decided to keep this one to myself, and I think that was probably the best decision that I could have made for my channel, because, you know, looking back, I wasn't afraid of opinions. Any growth that I found, I knew the growth was organic, and I knew those people had found me through the content I was creating, not by word of mouth or from anybody that I knew in person. So every time that I got a new follower, or I got a like or a comment or some sort of feedback, a DM, it meant the world to me, because I knew they just knew me through the content that I was making, and the content that I was making was really important to me, and I was really passionate about it. So looking back, not telling anybody about, you know, starting that Instagram page and then the YouTube channel and then the email list, the email newsletter, those were probably the best decisions I could have made, because now my YouTube channel has grown a little bit, and you know, I'm able to pursue it more and put a little bit more time into it, and I love it. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about. So that problem that I had, I was able to solve that problem, and I want you to be able to solve that same problem for yourself by the end of this video. Like, I want you to just be able to watch this entire video and not have that problem of like wanting to start something new and being held back, and there's a lot of different reasons that people are held back from pursuing something new for themselves. There's a lot of outside factors that I think that we can attack and solve those issues early. That way, once you're in, like, you're fully in, just like that clip I played at the beginning of the video said, like, once you decide to do something, you want to go all in, otherwise there's no chance of it being a success, not even a slim chance that you can succeed at something if you're not giving it like your full 100% undivided attention and passion. How can you expect to make a change for yourself? How can you expect to find success if you're kind of just half sending everything that you do? So the point of this video is to fix and just completely solve that issue for you, and hopefully by the end of the video we can get that done. So in order to get to that point, and some things that I had to understand and kind of process and accept when I started doing this, because I think everybody that watches this channel probably interested in like developing yourself as a person and finding that potential and find that inner growth, so that way you can become the person that you're meant to become, not living life with any what ifs or unknowns that you could have done something but maybe you didn't try, or you just didn't get the most out of life. Especially like if you're younger, in your 20s, or even like in your late teens. I'm 23. These messages for me were just so important, and I think learning them at a younger age is just gonna set you up for life in a way that people that are older than you they're gonna envy you for that. They're gonna respect you, and they're gonna respect and sense your maturity. And that's something that I've always been told in any job I had, or any field, or even just by family members or friends in general, is that I was always very mature for my age. Now I'm 23, so I'm growing into that maturity a little bit, where it's not like a surprise anymore. I think once you get to a certain point, it's kind of just expected. But if you're younger, this is just something that can give you a head start. And you'd be surprised how even a lot of people that are not as young as you are, they just learn this way too late, and that's why they're so held back in life. So whatever point in your life that you're watching this video from, like the sooner you can you can get with these ideas, I think the sooner that you're going to be able to propel yourself forward in life. And that first idea, like that first key idea that you have to understand, you have to accept, is that comfort kills ambition. People seek comfort for some reason, like they want to be comfortable, and then once you're comfortable, sometimes you don't even realize it until you're taken out of that comfort zone. But really, you shouldn't be striving to be comfortable. Like, that's not something that you should be looking for in life. You should be looking for challenges, because through those challenges, like, that's where you're gonna grow, and that's where new opportunities are gonna meet you, and that can be life changing. But if you're just always in your comfort zone and you're never challenging yourself, you're never growing, you're never moving, then you're just gonna stay like right where you are. Like, nothing good happens in those stages of comfort. You can feel good in there, and if that's where you want to stay, then that's like perfectly fine, stay there. But like, if you know you have like that innate desire in you to actually do something with your life more than what you're doing right now, like, and you need that, like, you know, you want to change, then you can't stay in that comfort zone. Like, you have to accept, you have to embrace change and challenge and opportunity into your life. Accept that idea that comfort is the enemy of your ambition and of your goals and of your success. The second point that you have to accept as soon as you possibly can, this is so important, is that you are responsible for where you are right now in life. Nobody did anything to you for you to end up where you're at. You can feel like life is just handing you a crappy set of cards, you know, and you can ride that. You can ride that your whole life if you really wanted to. I think it's going to be an unhappy life, but you can do that if you wanted to. And I think if you really want to make a change for yourself, then you have to understand that that change that you want is in your control. Like, you have the power to create that change. And if you live your life blaming other people, blaming your parents, blaming circumstance around you, you're never going to be able to make that change for yourself. So you have to recognize that where you're at right now, that's your fault. There's no one else to blame, especially as you get older. It just becomes so much more obvious, even to people like outside you. So you have to be able to accept that you have the power to create change. You can't just wait for life to happen to you. You have to make things happen for yourself. You have to make change happen for yourself. And I think that's incredibly important. The sooner you can learn that, like, the sooner you can start making those changes happen. But if you don't even think that that's possible, or if you misunderstand where your responsibilities lie, where your problems come from, how are you ever going to go about solving them, and how are you ever going to grow? The third point, and bouncing right off from that idea, is that challenge and risk is absolutely necessary in order for us to find our true potential. Like I said from the first point, if you're not being challenged and if you're not taking risks, like, how are you ever gonna know what you're capable of if you're not constantly testing your limits? It might sound corny, but it's just so true. Like, how are you ever gonna find out what you're really capable of? You have to try new things. You have to be willing to take risks. And this is something that I do not understand. I have a lot of friends that are into gambling, like sports betting and stuff, which is totally fine. Like, I'm not judging them or anything, but it's just crazy how addictive and easy that can be. But when it comes to somebody taking a bet on themselves and investing in themselves, that's something that's too scary. Like, it's just too out there, and they're afraid of embarrassing themselves and whatnot. But everybody just throws money away at other things, and sometimes it's not even money, it's just your time, it's just facing your fears, what you're afraid of. If you can understand that you have to not be afraid to take risks, because really, failure, what is even failure? You only fail if you give up. If you don't give up and you just keep trying and trying and trying, every failure that you have is just going to lead you to the next thing. And maybe that next thing is another failure, and then another failure, and then another one. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you don't fail and you actually find success, and it's like, oh crap, what just happened? Thought I was doing so bad, and then something just stuck. But how are you ever going to find that? You have to get through these staircases of failures, right? Failures. And you never even take the first step because you're just afraid. You have to be able to take risks and gamble on yourself. And like I said, that could be a money thing, but most of the time it's not even a money thing. It doesn't matter how much money you have, you can always find a way to get started. There's no excuses. Like, if you really want something, you're gonna figure it out. Like, you're gonna figure out a way. Like, there is a way for you to succeed no matter what circumstance you're in. It's just really, are you smart enough, or not even smart enough, but you have the open mind that is required to find that solution, because it's there. There is a solution. You have to find it for yourself. Nobody's gonna find it for you. You have to find it. It's possible. There is a way in the universe. There is a reality. There is a reality that you do win. So how are you gonna find that win? You're never gonna find it if you're just if you're afraid. If you're not willing to take a bet on yourself. So challenge and risk. It's extremely important. Extremely. The next thing that I want to get across, the next point, is that there really is no better time to start than today. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for something to happen and make it happen yourself. And I wrote this other thing down too, because I talked a lot about these ideas in like one of my recent email list posts that I make. And again, one of those things that I just put these posts out there. I don't care who sees them. You know, I don't care about the outside opinions of people. And it actually is one of those things that just stuck. Like I have almost 2,000 people that are subscribed to these email lists, these email newsletter posts. And a lot of the time I'm talking about the same ideas that we talk about on the channel. One of the things that I wrote on this post was the older you get, the more you realize there never really is the right time. You're never ready to make the jump, you're just ready enough. That's it. That quote right there literally speaks for itself. You just have to get started. There's no point in waiting. Your mind is gonna give you so many excuses on why not to start. It's insane. You have to find the excuse to actually start. You think, oh, like I'm gonna wait because I need this before I can start. I need that piece of equipment. I need that amount of money. I need that approval or this or that. Like you don't need any of that. You really don't. Like just make it work right now. And then along the way you'll grow into that stuff. There's something special about starting from nothing and starting from scratch. You're like the underdog. There's no risk. You have nothing to lose, really. Really, what do you have to lose? There's nothing. And I think that's with everything in life. It's all just a construct. These risks and consequences, they're just a construct of your mind. Start that YouTube channel. Start that business, go chase that new position, that new job. There's just no reason for you not to. And I think the older you get, the more you realize the truth in that statement. Another point, and this one's really important, no one will care as much as you do about your life. Therefore, outside opinions should not have any power over you. Now, I do want to say there are people in your life that genuinely do care about you and they want to see you succeed. And you're gonna value their opinion. Don't get me wrong, that's normal. Don't feel abnormal like for caring what your mom is telling you to do just because she actually wants to see you succeed in life. She's coming from a good place, I'm sure. These people's intentions can be really good. With that being said, only you understand what you want in life, and only you can understand what you're willing to live with. If what you're doing right now is something that it's gonna eat at you for the rest of your life if you don't try that new thing, don't let anybody stop you from doing that. Sometimes people just don't understand because they can't see the vision that's in your head. You have to pursue it and you have to chase it regardless. Like imagine if all the successful people listened to what the people around them were saying, there would be no successful people, because I promise you at one point or another, there was a point in a really successful person's life where somebody was telling them not to do that thing. Somebody thought it was dumb. Somebody thought it was silly. It's never gonna work. It's not possible. And then they did it, and then it became possible. And then it inspired other people. Now you look up to those people now because you see the end result. Not everybody can see that end result until you show it to them. So just put your head down, get to work, and make those results happen and show them after. You know what I mean? That's why I didn't tell anybody about my channel, because I didn't want anybody to be able to shoot down the aspirations that I had for what I wanted this channel to become. And then I just made it happen, and now I can show them, look, I've grown. I have all these people that are giving me great feedback. They can't tell me anything now because I can pull up hundreds of your guys' comments telling me how much you guys relate and just vibe and understand and love the content that I make. You have to just shut those opinions out sometimes and do you. And that's it. Like there's just no better way to put that. It's simple. A lot of this stuff is really simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Like these are not complicated ideas to wrap your head around. You just have to have an open mind and actually just accept these things to be true. Because we tend to like deny because we can't make it happen for ourselves. Instead of denying these ideas, open your mind to them, let them interject your mindset and see how it changes your life. Even if you don't believe it right away, like just pretend like you do and live your life as if you do. See what change happens. The next point is It's only impossible or weird or silly until it works. It always looks silly until you actually do it. Of course it's gonna seem impossible until you do it, until you show people that it can happen. So don't be so sensitive to those outside opinions, and don't be so afraid to just take risks and just unapologetically be yourself, whatever way that is for you. Express yourself through these arts or through your work that you're creating. Put your name on it, put your stamp on it. You know, you want people to know who you are through what you do, and take pride in that. Like, take pride in everything you do. All of this stuff that you're doing in life, like, that's what you're leaving behind for people to remember you by. And whether you care about that or not, like, that's just the reality of it. Like, that's what people are going to remember you by. By how you lived your life, not by how other people told you to live it. Because, like I said, nobody cares about your life as much as you do. Like, you think people care? They don't care. They care about themselves. They care about their success. You think people actually care what you're doing? They only care for the split second that it takes to put a negative comment on that post, you know what I mean? Or on that video, or whatever, or like to make that negative comment. They only care for that split, minute little point in time. That's how much they care. And then after that, they're never gonna think about it again. They do not care. They care about themselves. People are incredibly selfish. We are all incredibly selfish. I'm incredibly selfish because at the end of the day, I can see something on Instagram. Oh my God, that's so silly. I'm never gonna think about it again because I got other things to think about. I want to see myself grow. Like, I care about myself. I don't care what other people are doing. You know what I mean? I can be happy for them. I can hate on it. Doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna go back to doing my thing and what I'm trying to grow. So just remember that nobody actually cares. Do what you gotta do. And I know on these videos, and I know this is kind of like a different video from what I usually post. Like, I usually have like a lot of editing and stuff in the background, and I don't know if that helps or not. I just wanted to get this message across to you guys, but I always relate it back to the character of Bruce Wayne and Batman. That's kind of like the whole point of my channel. And you can look at that and think that it is kind of silly. These are fictional characters. It doesn't actually, translate to real life. It does though. These characters are written reflections of real life and real people. That's why we relate to them so much. If you watch a movie and you relate to that movie and the characters that are in it, that's because that writer wrote that from a place in their heart that was at some point there's some factors or emotions or events that were real for them, and they translated that into a story that you can relate to. But there's still always some sort of truth to them. And I think the character of Bruce Wayne, there's so much to learn, there's so much truth. And one of my favorite movies, I'll talk a little bit about it, and this is the last thing I want to leave you with. One of my favorite movies is Batman Begins, the first one out of Christopher Nolan's trilogy. There's this point, and it's crazy. That's a crazy movie because you have to explain like why a regular person is gonna completely, there has to be a crazy character arc where the mindset is completely shifted from one point to another. You have this crazy, there's this kid, his parents get, like, don't even think about it as a Batman story. There's this kid, his parents die, and all he has in life is anger. How do you let that anger go? You're orphaned as a little kid, and not only are your parents dead, you also blame yourself for it. He blames himself for his parents' death. That's crazy. You can't let that anger go. That's a crazy place to start. Crazy circumstances. Yeah, he's rich, technically he has whatever he wants, but all of that stuff that he has, he doesn't want it. He just wants his mom and dad. So that's where the character starts. And then there has to be this shift, which the movie does such a good job of showing. But there has to be this shift that the character goes from holding all this anger and vengefulness, and then he has to step outside of his own suffering. And they literally say that in the movie. Look past your own suffering. Look at what other people are going through. You really want to help people, and you really want to keep the situation that happened to you from happening. You have to step outside of yourself and see the bigger picture. And then he does that, and everything changes from that point on. That's when you see Bruce Wayne the switch flips. Like, he goes from being a regular dude to becoming the symbol that he knows he has to become in order to save the city, pretty much. It's a crazy story. It's such a compelling character arc, and you see him, he gets that reality check. He understands that something has to change. He realizes that he doesn't understand people's suffering, and he has to put himself in those shoes. He sees the gun that he wanted to kill the murderer of his parents with, and he literally throws it into the water. You didn't have any dialogue, but you knew exactly what that meant for him as a character. and that leads him into the rest of that whole trilogy. That one decision right there, to throw the gun away. He made a decision. This is not who I want to be. So then he leaves everything behind. He, if you've seen the movie, you know what happens. He leaves everything that he had behind, all the riches, all the money, all the fancy cars, the girls, all of that. Leaves it behind for years. I think, if I remember correctly, it's 7 years that he leaves. He leaves for 7 years. Nobody knows where he is, just to put himself in that state of mind to understand the suffering that people go through, what it feels like to live in poverty, what it feels like to live with the problems that he'll never have in his life. That's crazy. Obviously, that's like a crazy extreme. I don't think a lot of people are gonna do that in real life, that specific thing. But there has to be a point in your life where your mindset changes from that victim mentality, and you have to accept new ideas and new truths in order for you to grow. You can take that as literal as you want. You can apply that in your real life as much as you want to. Go ghost for like a year and just work on yourself and just self-improve, self-develop. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But that's not really the point. Like, the point is just having an open mind and allowing your mindset to shift. I think that movie and that character just displays that so well. Never mind how badass of a movie that is to begin with, but just that story, that character. For me, that inspired everything for this channel. I hope all of this, it really helps you understand what needs to happen for you to be able to become the person that you want to be. You got to be able to find that new version of yourself. I hope this opened your eyes a little bit, and I hope that you don't wait any longer. Don't wait. Just go after it. Just go chase it. Be willing to take a gamble on yourself and take risks and invite change and opportunity into your life. Never let this be a problem again. Thank you for watching. Take care. I'll see you guys on the next one.